What's going on, guys? Today we are going to work on a topic that's very important. It has so much to do with our confidence. It's how we sit and how we manage the reins, rein management and seat. So much of our seat is dependent upon what we are trying to do. The biggest thing is for most of the folks that are watching this that are looking to become safer, more confident, more balanced. Understand this, around the world, the most taught style of riding is English. And most English riding is done inside of a show ring or jumps, and it's a very forward seat, very pretty seat, dressage style riding, but that's for a show ring. When you're riding a horse that is spooky or a horse that is worrisome, or you're going down a trail and there might be unexpected changes of momentum, that's not the seat that you want to adopt. And this is the reason. When we are sitting perfectly vertical, like this, if this horse spooks or looks or has an issue, it's going to sit me forward, it's going to trip my equilibrium. And when it does that, my brain is going to react because my brain's primal job is to keep me alive. So instead, what I want to do is this. I want to scoot myself to the front of the saddle and roll back on my keister, roll back on my butt, just like so. That's going to bring my knees and my feet in front of me and allow my shoulders to fall behind me. Now when that horse scares, spooks, or has an issue, if he goes left or right, his front end is going to be direction and his back end is going to push because his back end's the motor. So if he runs away and goes off here and spins on the trail, I was on the pivot point, I can grab him and pull him back and send him forward and pull him back, and I feel so much more confident here. As opposed to sitting forward, if he spins around and I'm sitting forward, now I become unseated, and now instead of being his director or guiding him, now I'm just holding on for dear life and reacting. I want to be the driver, and confidence comes from your seat, from your keister, because knowledge only works if you can use that knowledge. So I want to make sure that I'm sitting deep in my pockets, that I'm sitting nice and relaxed, so that I can be a good leader for my horse. The next thing is how we grab our reins. We could be sitting back, but if we grab two hands of reins and every time that he spooks, our hands come up to our chest, now we're pressing all the buttons and we don't know what that horse is going to do. That horse's head rises, that horse might buck or run or rear. Instead, what we want to do is be quick to slide our hand down the rein, find his face, and cross over his hind end. So be able to find his face, move his butt. Notice when I want to move his butt, I find his face, I look at his butt, and I pull his face towards his butt. And I ensure to this horse that this is the most important thing that there is right now. No matter how spooked or worried he is of something, I want to pull him right here and cross over his back feet. And that's why we do so much spooking of the horse in these situations. We get them where we can go fast and disengage them. We can spook them and disengage them. But this only works if you're clear of mind. I know a lot of folks who it is their idea or their intention to do a one rein stop, but then whenever it actually hits the fan, when they're up the creek and the situation gets a little hairy, if you will, a little sketchy, they lock up and grab two reins. Well, bucking, running, rearing, all the things that don't behoove your health and well-being, they happen in a straight line with that horse driving with their back end. A bucking horse is pushing off of their back, catching in the front end, pushing off of their back, catching in the front end. A rearing horse is standing on their back end. Well, very quickly, everything that is not great for you happens here. So we want to make sure that we can take their face and cross over their back end. You've never seen a Kentucky Derby crossing the finish line with their back feet crossed. You've never seen a rearing horse with their back feet crossed. So ultimately, we simply want to be able to find their face and move their butt, and that comes from sitting on our butt, allowing our knees and heels to be in front of us when we're doing obstacles, when we're doing trails, when we're playing horse soccer. Whenever we find ourselves in a situation, when I'm riding all these young colts out and about that have no rides, it's their first time on the trail, I ride down the trail just like this. I ride flat on my butt with my lower back popped out, sitting nice and quiet. And if they have an issue, say he spooks of my dog or a cow or turkey popping out of the bush, when he goes left, I can disengage him right and face that fear. If we do this, we're gonna have a real easy time being confident, staying on top. The other thing is when we're moseying down the trail, you can still direct, you still ride the horse like you know how to ride the horse. But in those times that we are not paying attention, what I want you to do is I want you to hold the rein in one hand. When you're not paying attention to your horse and you're going down the trail, I want you to hold the rein in one hand. Your horse doesn't have to neck rein for this. Your horse doesn't have to be a rope horse for this. This is what I'm saying. If you're going down the trail in a straight line, following your friends, not paying attention, you're talking to Becky and Sue, and your hand's here, when you get spooked out of nowhere, and that's usually what ends up being our demise as pleasure riders, an unexpected change of momentum. When that happens, that unexpected change of momentum makes our bodies react. Well, if you react with one hand, that hand is still going to shoot up, but now you have a free hand that can find his face and pull him around. If you ride down the trail like this with two hands almost having contact on your horse, well, what's going to happen is when that horse spooks and tries to run away or tries to spin on you or do this, you're going to grab here, which is going to raise his head. He's going to get resistance. Now you're holding on, and you're not giving clear communication. You're pressing all the buttons as opposed to, in a tight situation, giving one clear instruction. If this horse were walking down the trail and I'm on a loose rein, and out of nowhere he wants to bolt off to the left, I spook, my hand rises, my free hand can now grab and face up, and because of that, I gave one clear instruction, face up, face the fear. Also, for the future, when that horse spooks, he's going to be thinking, if I try to run off, he's going to grab me and disengage me. Now, he's more worried about the disengagement than the thing he's afraid of. Very quickly, your horse starts checking in with you when they get afraid. So now you're moseying down the trail the next day. He gets spooked. He freezes in his tracks like a pointer dog. Ears locked on it just like this. And what he's saying is, hey, I'm afraid of that. And now we can address it and we can work through it. As long as we do that, as long as we see it coming, we very rarely have an issue. Most folks don't see that accident coming, and that's what ends up getting them unseated. And since they're sitting upright, it's very easy to become unseated. You add those things together, and it becomes a cocktail for disaster, as opposed to sitting back on our butt, loose and easy, and being prepared to grab one rein and the other by simply sliding a hand down the rein, finding their face, and redirecting them. If we can do that, you can feel a lot safer and a lot more confident on your horse, in turn, having a lot more fun. Well, thank you guys for watching this. I'll see you in the next video.